Okay. Well, let's move on to new business then. 6A, discuss and/or approve extended school day, school year.
At the last board meeting, I gave you some information about extended school day, and our recommendation is, as well as agreement with both unions, that we have 40 minutes to the school day. 20 minutes in the morning, so school would start at 8 o'clock. 20 minutes at the end of the day, so school would end at 3:40. Union agreement is that what we agreed to for the master contract was language that just changed the length of the workday. They had an 8-hour workday, and now we have an 8-hour and 40-minute workday. And in addition to that, we added one clause that talked about if a teacher was absent for a day, that the extended day is still just considered a day. It's not a day and a night, it's just a day. They were a little concerned about how we were going to pay subs and long-term subs, and we were just like, don't worry about it. That's business office, and we will compensate them fairly for the additional 40 minutes of time. We talked about it, but hadn't figured it out. Bless their hearts, they were just trying to make through this for everybody. So we would have time, if we do not miss any more days of school, we could make up all 6 days. Seniors would graduate on time, not have to come back. Yahoo! And we would end with students on the 28th of May. So my recommendation is for an extended day to start Monday, March 15th.
I have a question on that. Are we involved, let's see, how can I arrange this? Are we in session on Good Friday?
No.
Why?
Master contract.
Is that in the master contract? You can't do that.
We did talk about it. We did talk with our unions about it, and we acknowledged the fact that, or I acknowledged the fact with them that it was a master contract day. And they really, there was some mixed opinion about what to do, but I did not press the issue about Good Friday.
Well, I know some schools are doing that.
But some schools aren't also. Well, here would be something to think about, whether things are really logical or not. We've had a lot of days off, but the January to Good Friday is a long time period, okay? For kids, adults, whoever. And here's what we did know. We knew that some families had always said to us, we planned on being gone over spring break. So, and we think they'll still be gone. We have some staff that have plans to be gone. Having that Friday still lets us graduate, still lets us end the 28th with our extended day. So, not that I personally had any plans, but I think it's good for the district to have Good Friday off.
Then it takes about 10 or 11 or 12 days.
8 days.
8 days, 8 to 40, let's see, you get 5.5 hours.
To get our 8 periods back. See, we don't have to recoup the teacher contract before and after. We just have to get the 8-period student day back, and so we'll have that back.
And the hours you can count, but you can't count the lunch period.
Right. So that you would know, our staff are going to be shortchanged on days of work, though, would be our bus drivers and our cooks. Because we will have 6 fewer days that the cooks will work and 6 fewer days that the bus drivers work. And that wasn't meant as a savings. We were doing it to save money. We were doing it to try to get school ended about as close to the original date as possible. So, and as we talked with groups of staff, someone will say, wow, that's a long day. Well, I talked to people who aren't going to make up that day. Really, we have had no complaints. We've met with, yesterday we did service, we talked to all of our staff about it. I think we've answered every possible question. We're going to, instead of doubling class periods, we're going to have 20 minutes to 2 periods each day. We'll be on a 4-day rotation. So day 1 we'll have 20 minutes added to first period and fifth, and then day 2 to second and sixth. So there's just a schedule. The schedule looks a little bit different at the high school than at the middle school because there are different passing periods. One has 3 minutes and one has 4, and then the elementary will just adjust when they have their specials based on when those teachers have extended blocks of time. So,
at the kindergarten, first grade level, is it going to be difficult for some of those levels?
Well, I have talked with teachers about that, and yeah, it's going to be hard to add 40 minutes. But here's the other side of it. This is at this time of the year, not in the fall. Thank heaven. If this were the beginning of school, you know, those little guys fall asleep in the bus the first month of school. Well, the teachers go home and crash, you know, the first month of school. We all do because it's just a different pace. So thank heaven it's now rather than later. The one thing that it does do for preschool is our AM and PMs are both equal this way. So that's good. Might they have to slow down over the noon hour? Some, maybe. But, you know, they may be more resilient than the adults are. We'll have to see about how that goes. But,
Do they have nap time?
no,
Kids, they don't have that.
we do not have.
Keep them going, they'll be fine, I think.
I talked to a lot of people since I heard about this. I've talked to a lot of mothers. The only one that I heard had a problem with this was a lady that lives way over by Carroll. She doesn't want to start 20 minutes early. She wants to go 20 minutes later because she already gets her kids on the bus at 7 o'clock. I know you've got this all worked out. How big of a deal is that? To go till 4 o'clock instead of 3:40.
I would imagine if we changed that thinking to that direction, that we have just as many people on the other side of it saying, holy cow, no, that interferes with my work. And you know, so our idea of splitting it was just to try to neutralize the effect of the AM PM. So I would say for every person that's affected by it this way, there'd be we just shift the concern to, you know, to another group of people potentially.
The other thing is it takes a while to work these things out. You have to go back to the union. By the time we got something in place, we probably wouldn't be banking up any time during the school year. We'd still be tacking it on to do that.
But this parent would have their student on, or their small children on the bus at 4 to 7?
Yeah.
6:40 in the morning?
So is it 20 minutes earlier than like Billy gets on at 10 after 7 now?
I had a few phone calls, the same concern, and I'm have small kids. Mornings are a little hectic. And this particular lady, her kids got on at 7:15.
So they'd be getting
So they
just
ride,
before
yeah,
7.
just a full hour, and same at night. So, and I have had quite a few concerns about, I wouldn't consider it nap time because Anna would be really offended. Can they put quiet time back in kindergarten first, after lunch, since recess is before?
You know,
Because I don't think you have to have them leave.
And you know what, I think we have to say to our teachers, you adjust the way that you're going to need to. And our staff will do that, I know. If you think of our K-2 teachers in particular, they're pretty sensitive to, they've got pretty little kids, you know, in those classrooms. That, you're right, it doesn't have to be sleeping, but can we just slow down?
You have to go by yourself. You cannot speak to anyone, read a book, or
And not touch anyone, Yeah, so it's, what you're talking about is more
just
quiet time.
quiet
Just
time,
kind of,
just
yeah.
time to unwind.
Yeah, and I don't think that we'd be thinking that that would have to happen for 40 minutes.
No,
If they got 15 minutes of that, they're
Yeah.
probably good to go, and, yeah.
I have to read
Our
books.
teachers of our younger kids, I can just tell you, are much more sensitive to that, and they should be, because those are the grades they teach, but we can pass that on to make sure that they know that, don't be afraid to do that with kids.
And I guess those were the parents the concerns that I've heard, and I guess I've heard a lot of people that want to do it. Just because you go into tier 9, you've got soccer, which is already, and t-ball and swim team.
Well, we have high school softball that starts maybe first with afternoon ball games, and they're still supposed to be taking classes.
I get into some teachers' summer school schedules and things like that too.
You know, the problem with it all is that whatever you try to figure out for a solution, there's just always this positive, negative kind of trying to look at that thing. And some of the very parents who probably are hoping will still be done the 28th, frankly, still have issues with it, and rightly so, because their life is around the schedule the way that it is right now. You know, some of the Des Moines schools start at 7:30 now. They don't go to 3:40, but their kids are in the buildings at 7:30. They run 2 shifts of kids through buildings to save on buildings.